And now the top story and big news coming in related to the line of actual control between India and China. According to highly praised sources, DD News has learned that the withdrawal of Chinese troops at Gogra and Hot Springs has been completed. We give you more details of that. Disengagement between India and China has completed at patrolling point 17 in Hot Springs. And with this disengagement completes also at PP14, PP15 and PP17. Chinese army is also thinning out in Finger area as per the sources. MEA meanwhile maintains diplomatic and military officials of India as well as China will henceforth continue their meetings to take forward the process of disengagement and de-escalation. This development comes close on the heels of a teleconference or telecommunication or telecon between special representatives from both sides, from India as well as China, National Security Advisor of India Ajit Doval and Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. Remember, the telecon took place on 5th of July earlier. We've also learned, as per the sources, that NSA has conveyed categorically India's position on the recent developments along the line of actual control, including that in Galwan Valley area. NSA Doval has emphasized Indian troops had always taken a very responsible approach towards border management. At the same time, India was deeply committed to ensuring its national sovereignty as well as security.
Diplomatic and military officials of both sides will continue their meetings to take forward the process of disengagement and de-escalation as agreed to by the special representatives. The next meeting of the Working Mechanism for Consultation and Coordination on India-China Border Affairs, the WMCC, is expected to take place soon. Remain convinced of the need for maintenance of peace and tranquility in the border areas and the resolution of differences through dialogue. At the same time, we are also strongly committed to ensuring India's sovereignty and territorial integrity.
In addition to this, External Affairs spokesperson Anurag Srivastava reiterated that diplomatic and military officials of both sides will continue to take forward the process of disengagement as agreed by special representatives from both the countries. He has added that India remains convinced of the maintenance of peace and tranquility at the borders. And before we talk about the significance of this development, we quickly are getting this reaction from defense analyst Dhruv Katoch. Let's listen.
The disengagement process being completed at patrolling point 14 and 15 and also at patrolling point 17, which is the area called Hot Springs, is a positive sign. Now the key area to watch out for is, however, the Pangong Tso, where the Chinese forces had erected structures between fingers 4 and 8. Thinning out has started here, but it is in this area that the Chinese will have to pull back completely and remove all the structures which they had erected. In my view, India will have to be prepared for any eventuality just in case the situation goes out of control. It must be understood that the distrust factor remains very high, which is why the Indian Army is verifying each and every detail before proceeding on the next step.
Ambassador Mohan Kumar, former senior diplomat and chairman RIS, is with us on this story. Your first reaction to this, are these initial signs of distress? But the larger question in focus on this part of the discussion, of course, remains as per sources. We have learned that with this disengagement process also marks its completion at the LAC. Ambassador Mohan Kumar, quick first reactions from you. China under a lot of distress, hence this forward movement as far as the de-escalation that we have seen. The process began 3 days ago. What more do you read into this development?
Up to China, so that's the first signal that salami slicing, which they have been doing for the last several years, is not on, and we are not just going to accept that. But I think the old principle that will be followed in all these negotiations is trust and verify. We may trust them at the level of special representatives. You have to trust each other, otherwise you can't talk. But then you will have to verify the situation on the ground. So I quite agree with your defense analysts that while there has been more disengagement in some points, And I want to tell your viewers that there are at least 4 points, which is the Galwan Valley, you've got the hot springs, you've got the Gogra, and then you've got the Pangong Tso. The Pangong Tso, the Pangong Lake, is the one in which there has been least amount of disengagement. And I agree with the analyst who said to you just a little while ago that we have to wait and watch. And we have to be prepared for any eventuality. So I agree with that.
Okay, but what more do you read into it in terms of its far-reaching implications, the way we've seen sudden turn of events from the Chinese sides, the whole withdrawal, the withdrawal from Chinese side of the LAC, post that telecon that happened between our National Security Advisor and their foreign minister?
So it could be one of two things, frankly. One, they might have tried this at the tactical level and seen, okay, if we can get, why not? So that kind of foolhardiness may have happened at the local level. But I really think it's a case of strategic overextension by China. They've got so many battlefronts which have opened now in the South China Sea, with Australia, with Japan, with Vietnam, with Philippines, with the United States, Europe, and then India. So it's a case of strategic overextension. And maybe this is a tactical move on their part. I don't know. Maybe they think this is not the right time. We made a mistake. Let's withdraw. And we will see later what happens.
Is China under distress? Is China under a lot of pressure? Very quickly.
I absolutely think China is under pressure because, as I said, they have opened way too many battlefronts. This is not the only battlefront they have. They have a battlefront in South China Sea with ASEAN and others. So I do believe they are under pressure, yes.
All right. Well, that's quite a statement, sir. China under pressure. Well, that, of course, is seen as a big breakthrough for us as well. Thank you so much.